That's one of the things. If you're saying that, oh yeah, men can't get pregnant, or males can't get pregnant, but men can. Coming up. I didn't catch his name. Joven? Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
So I was just wondering because I saw your live here. You said that you think that there's an ideology spreading where we're conflating males and men. Is that correct?
Correct.
How would we be conflating males and men?
Well, what is a man?
What do I think a man is, or what is like
No.
usually
What is
assumed
the
when we say
objective?
what a man
What is
is?
the objective definition, objective reality of a man?
No definitions inherently are not objective. Definitions by nature are subjective because definitions are descriptive, not prescriptive.
Okay,
So
so
when you
what's the
say some,
definition?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's what's the definition of a man?
The colloquial definition that like most people use is an adult human male.
Correct.
Sure, I'm not disagreeing that that's what most people use for the definition. So how would we? But how would we be conflating man and male?
Well, what's the definition of male?
The typical definition would be somebody that can produce small gametes.
Correct.
You're not showing me where the conflation is. We're not saying males are men. That wouldn't be a conflation. If you're saying males are men, that would be conflating males to men.
No. The definition of a male is a sex that produces the motile gametes, right? Like you said,
Correct.
especially spermatozoa.
Wait, do you know what conflating means?
Yeah, like not recognizing the difference,
No,
or
conflation means to merge two things. We're not merging male and men. We don't think male and men are merged. You do. You think males have to be men
they do.
or men have to be male. Yeah, you're conflating those two things. You're saying those two things are the same. We're
They're the
not
same.
doing that. We would not be conflating them. We're not saying that they're one ideal.
Oh, we're not.
Not the left, no.
So are men and male the same thing?
No, they're two different words with two different definitions.
Okay, but you understand that the word male refers to the male sex.
Yes.
Okay, and the word man refers to the word male.
Yes, colloquially that's how most people use that word. I would disagree with their understanding of the word when we look at like neurobiology and how gender identity works. But yeah, that's how
Hmm.
most people would use the word.
Now, so gender identity is different than gender,
Correct.
and gender identity is different from sex.
Correct.
So me saying that I'm a woman doesn't make me a woman.
I believe gender to be an identity based thing. So, yes, you can claim what your identity is, somebody else can't claim that for you. When we talk about what gender is specifically as a thing, gender is
But
is a set of cultural and social behaviors and
but
concepts.
objectively, I'm not female.
If you've been karyotyped and you know that you're 100% male, yeah.
And objectively, I'm not a woman.
Oh, I can't make that claim for you. You can. But I don't
No,
think
you can.
gender. I don't think
Wait,
gender
you
is
can
an
make that claim.
objective. I don't think gender is an objective based thing because it's subjective to humans. It doesn't exist outside of humans. So I would not place an objective truth on gender.
Gender very much exists outside of human.
What other creature has gender?
Virtually all of them.
Have sex. They all have sex, but no other creature is a woman, right? The only gender category that other creatures have are things that we've placed on them.
No other creature is a woman because a woman is an adult human female. The
Yes,
key
but
word being human.
every other creature, right? Like if we say, well, a doe, right, is a gender of a deer. We gave deer the name doe. Deers didn't make it themselves. We did. They don't have
But we
gender
can
in and of
agree that
themselves. We have gender, and we gender other things.
we can agree that the female deer, though, right?
Yeah, again, sex and gender are two different things.
Okay. Well, if that's the theory that you're going with,
Well, if we want to talk definitions, that is definitionally they are two different things.
they are the same thing.
Definitionally, they are different. They have two different definitions.
The definition of sex, sexual activity, either of two main categories, male or female. That's the
Correct.
definition of sex.
Correct. When the two main categories, it's talking about the biological male and female. It's talking biology.
The definition of gender, the male sex or the female sex.
Keep reading. Don't stop there. That's
When
disingenuous. You know that.
considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones.
There you go. Two
That's
different things.
when considered.
They're two different things. They literally have two different definitions.
They are not two different things.
That
Sex
you
and
just
gender
read two different definitions.
they're the same thing.
You quite literally just read two. Like if we're gonna have like a serious conversation here, right? You did just read two definitions. Like I've been honest when
male,
you've asked me questions, but now I'm asking you a
the
question. You're
male,
being intellectually
the
dishonest
male
about it.
sex or hold on, the male sex or the female sex,
Especially when
especially
what?
when considered with reference
No, it
to
doesn't say.
social.
Wait, it doesn't say with reference.
Yes, it does. I can show you on my screen right now. You want me to show you?
Wait, whether it does or does not, it still points out specifically that
No,
gender
no,
is
no,
more a
no, no.
social and cultural thing rather than a biological thing. It says that in the definition that gender is specifically more cultural and social, which
So
is
do you
even
believe
the
that
which
men,
is even the
do you
understanding
believe
when
that
we
men
look
can
at.
become pregnant?
I think trans men can become pregnant. Yes,
Trans men are what?
trans men in my category would be men. They fit under the category of men for me.
Okay, but you understand that you use two different words, but you're giving them the same definition now,
I
right?
don't use two different words. What different words do I use?
Trans men and
Trans is
men.
an adjective. It
You're
just tells me
conflating the
that
two.
no, men is the noun, trans is the adjective. So trans just tells me the type of men
So
they are. So I'm not.
what is trans? What is trans?
Trans would mean that your gender identity is different
That's not
from
what
your
trans
sex
means.
at birth. Yes,
That's not what
trans stands
trans.
for transgender.
No, it stands for transsexual.
No, it stands for
Transgender is just made up.
transgender. All
You
words are
cannot
made up.
change.
All words are made up. So this idea that like you can't use that word because it's made up just doesn't hold weight. Every single
It's a
word is
made
made
up
up.
concept. You
Every
cannot
single
change.
concept is made up, my friend. Every single one.
No. Every
Yes.
single concept not made up, but it's at least rooted in objective reality.
Wait, this is rooted in objective reality. We have brain scans of trans people. We know that their brains are more we see sexual dimorphism in brains. I can link you to the studies
Yeah,
that where we scan these
you also
brains.
know that trans people have a greater risk of autism. Just because you have different brain functionality doesn't make you that thing.
Wait, I didn't say that they have different
But
brain
I agree with,
functionality.
well, if they have different brain scans, then essentially they
No,
would
the
have
brain
different
still
brain
no, the brain
functionality.
still function the same. What do you mean? That's not what functionality means. That's not what we're looking at here when we're looking
They're
at the
just,
sexual
and
dimorphism
how
that
would you be able
exists in
to
the brain.
determine that in a
Well, we look at the way their brains light up when presented with specific
sexual
stimuli.
dimorphism?
Yes,
Could
we
you
look.
elaborate on the sexual dimorphism? Because
Yeah, so when we
I have some clinical psychologists and a PhD who like to come on here, and then they like to shred people like you to pieces and say that it's fundamentally not true.
I mean, they can try if they're available. I'd be glad to talk to them. But I can
Because
pull up the specific
because
studies for you
because
if you'd
like,
like them.
well, yeah, but studies is a fact. Studies are just
Well,
studies.
yes,
Now
studies
here's what
are
I'm
what we
here's what
use
the
to
note.
prove things. Like we do studies and
Yeah.
experiments to prove theories and hypotheses.
Now here's my thing. If you say that there's a difference between a male brain and a trans male brain, then you acknowledge the fact that women are different than men. Male is different from female.
Male would be different from female, yes, and women would be different from men.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not claiming that these things are not different concepts.
Yeah. So they're different, so they can't be the same.
Never said they were the same. It's not a claim I've made.
Okay. So we know that if they're different, like we both agree, then how can one become the other?
Because you're arguing under the presumption that men become women. That's not the presumption that I'm using. I'm arguing under the presupposition that trans identities, like a trans girl, for instance, has always had the gender identity of girl. She may not have expressed that gender identity or may not have had the words to understand what her gender identity was, but her gender identity has always been that of girl because gender identity is an immovable concept in our brains.
I think once again we're conflating gender identity with biological gender and biological sex.
Biological gender is not a thing. Like I can read you out of a neurobiology book what gender and sex are. Gender and sex are classified as three different things. We have genotypic sex, phenotypic sex, and gender. Now they're all intrinsically linked, but they are all classified scientifically, biologically, and neurologically as different things.
Okay, so men can get pregnant then.
Trans men can, yeah.
Okay, what is trans? A transsexual man.
Well, when we use the word trans, we use it to refer to
By the way,
transgender people.
Can we stop conflating transsexual with transgender people? Because
I'm
transgender
not.
people is someone who identifies as someone
Yes,
Sorry,
a transgender person would be somebody whose gender
in the
identity.
video quality.
Wait, a transgender person is somebody whose gender identity is not aligned with their sex. That would be somebody who's transgender. When I use that term, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay. Okay.
So there are
Okay.
transgender
What about
men.
transsexual people?
Well, transsexuals is used in like clinical settings.
What about
Like,
transsexual people?
yeah, I'm going over. Transsexual is used in clinical settings, and now the term is more referred to people who
Like
have.
scientific settings.
Yeah, sometimes yes. Although they're phasing the word out in most areas. That's why you don't really see it in studies pre 2015, or post 2015. Sorry, it's just the word is being phased out. Now it's really only used for people who have induced specific intersex conditions to where they will phenotypically present more as the opposite sex.
Gotcha. Well, this sounds all very valid and very real.
That doesn't feel like a genuine response. Not gonna lie.
Very genuine. You've given me the courage to finally come out as a woman, so I thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. I'm here in good faith. I don't know why you're now acting in bad faith. If you don't want to have a good faith conversation, then I understand.
No,
I'll leave and
I'm
let
just
you.
using logic. My gender identity is now affirmed, and I feel much happier now. Thank you for clearing all of that up.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If your whole purpose
It's been
of
a
these
revelation.
wait, I'm just gonna say, if your purpose of these lives is just to perform, then I'll head out and let you perform. I thought you were looking for like genuine conversations. If you're not, I'll let you go perform again. It's fine with me.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Enjoy what little TikTok clout you have. I guess. Have fun. See you later.